May the words of my mouth and the meditation of our hearts be acceptable in your sight, O Lord, our rock and our Redeemer. Amen. There are places in life we don't want to go. Deep waters. We like things close to shore, where feet can touch bottom and faith feels manageable. But Jesus, well, He beckons us to launch out into the deep. Luke 5 opens with Jesus teaching by the Sea of Galilee. The crowds press in, hungry for words that mend the soul. So Jesus borrows Simon's boat, pushes off a bit, and teaches. But this scene is only the prelude. After the lesson, Jesus turns to Simon and says something outrageous. Put out into the deep water and let down your nets for a catch. Simon, who has fished all night and caught nothing, is exhausted. And yet something in the voice of Jesus, firm, compassionate, strange, compels him to obey. Isn't that always the way it happens? Just when we are in the middle of our ordinary routines, when we are cleaning our nets, paying bills, sitting in traffic, that is when the call of Christ comes. Not in the temple, but in a boat. Not in holy silence, but amid sloshing waves and weary hearts. And it often comes as inconvenience. Try again. Go back out. Push into deep water. So why deep water? Because that is where our illusions about control begin to break. In the deep, we are not self-sufficient. We are at the mercy of God's grace. Simon obeys, and the nets begin to break with abundance. This is no ordinary catch. It is a divine eruption into the mundane. And in that moment, Simon's knees buckle, not from the weight of the fish, but from the weight of glory. Go away from me, Lord, for I am a sinful man. That is what Simon says. It is a confession that wells up from the depths, not just of the sea, but of the soul. You see, when the holy enters into our world, it is not just awe that floods in, it is exposure. Peter sees not only who Jesus is, but who he himself is in light of him. But here's the cross already at work here. Because before Jesus calls Simon to carry a cross, he first shows him his need for it. The cross is not just an emblem of salvation, although it is, but it is the means by which grace meets us in our most fragile, fearful place. Simon stands in the boat, knee-deep in blessing, and realizes that, you know what? He doesn't deserve any of it. And he is right, because none of us do. The gospel is not reward. The gospel is rescue. And yet Jesus does not walk away. Jesus says, do not be afraid. From now on, you will fish for people. Do not be afraid. The call of discipleship does not begin with a command, it begins with comfort. Jesus does not crush the contrite, but he lifts them. Simon thought that his sin disqualified him from his mission. But Jesus uses that very awareness as the foundation for calling him. Because the ones who truly fish for people are not those who feel righteous, but those who have been wrecked and remade by mercy. And here's where the cross becomes even clearer. When Jesus calls Peter to become a fisher of people, he is calling him into a life that mirrors Jesus' own, to draw others out of the chaos of sin into the net of grace at great personal cost. Peter would one day haul in nets full of souls, not by power, but by preaching Christ crucified. The catch comes through the cross. The text today ends simply. So they pulled their boats up on shore, left everything, and followed him. Why? Because once you have seen grace like this, undeserved, overflowing, holy, you cannot go back to normal life. The boat, the nets, the fish, they all become too small. Peter didn't just leave a career, he left a self. The self that thought he had to earn love, that he could control outcomes. That failure was the end of the story. He left all of that behind because Jesus was already going ahead himself to the deeper water, to the deeper sacrifice, to the deeper mercy of the cross. And so the call still echoes even now. Launch out into the deep. Not into easy faith, not into shallow certainty, but into cross-shaped trust. The kind of trust that knows that we will fail, but that grace will still catch us, that Christ will still call us, and that love will not let us go. Amen.